What is up, guys? Today we're diving into my hands-on experience with the brand new PlayStation 5 demo for the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. What you're looking on the screen right now is about 2.5 hours of my raw unedited gameplay from the absolute beginning of the demo. Because I wanted to show you literally everything this game has to offer without keeping you here until tomorrow morning. So I sped up the video to 28 minutes, and on this video I'll make a deep dive breakdown of the game and my experience. Let me be completely real right out of the gates. Square Enix absolutely loves making Fantasy Kingdom games. I swear to God, man. It is practically a mandatory corporate mandate for them at this point. When I first booted this up and saw the opening screens, my immediate thought was, this is basically the same old story they always go with, just written in a completely different font. But don't let the initial impression fool you. This is Team Asano's and Claytech Works, the brilliant minds behind Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default, doing their very first HD 2D real-time action game. And visually, it looks absolutely stunning on a 4K display and on an OLED screen. The full game is dropping on June 18 for $60 and pre-orders are already live. I played through this entire opening chunk of the game, tested almost all the mechanics, and by the end of this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why I walked away giving this demo a rock solid 8.5 out of 10 and why it might actually be worth your day one cash. Let's talk about the setup of this world and the actual story we're seeing unfold on the screen. The game takes place on a beautiful but savage continent called Philadelphia. But I like to call it Philadelphia because, like, what the frick is up Philadelphia? You know what I'm saying? This continent, or I guess kingdom, is completely overrun by these fierce beast tribes. Humanity's last safe haven is the kingdom of Huther, and the only reason it stays safe is because of a magical barrier spell called safekeeping. That critical barrier is maintained by Princess Hyria. In this game, you play as Elliot, who's a refreshingly confident protagonist. He's not one of those whiny, reluctant JRPG heroes who spend the first 5 hours complaining about his destiny. Like, don't get me wrong, he does get a little bit shy and sometimes he confidential sometimes, but not all the time. When it's time to get real, he gets real. Does that make sense? And I want to talk about the king, who's a hilarious character because he, despite being the ruler of the final bastion of humanity, he's really just an endearing, doting, overprotective parent. The king tasks Elliot with heading out to investigate a set of mysterious ancient ruins that just suddenly appeared right outside the kingdom's tall protective walls. And you could tell the king is like a doting parent, like, because he can tell that Princess Hyria does not like being holed up in a castle 24/7 and she really wants to adventure. Because you're doing a critical task for the kingdom, Princess Hyria is essentially inside your ears 24/7 via magic communication. But I'm not gonna lie though, having her talk to you constantly through your exploration can get a little annoying sometimes when you're just trying to look around and vibe with the music. But mechanically, she is literal lifesaver. If you look at the top left UI, you start the game with 5 lives that look like little teardrops. Whenever you take damage from enemies or hazards, you can just press L1 and the princess will cast a spell to completely heal you back to full HP. It operates on a cooldown timer, but it is entirely infinite. No item limits, no magic points required. But don't let the bright pixel art, the flowing text boxes, and the doting dad king trick you into thinking this is a safe, fluffy fairy tale, man. This game gets grim as hell, incredibly fast. Early on in these ruins, you encounter one of Elliot's friends dying in the ground. The guy who was literally about to get married, and even Elliot himself says it in your face, man, literally in the text box. But you literally encounter him dying in the floor. Witnessing a tragedy like that right at the start of the game completely flips the script. raises the narrative stakes instantly and shows you that Team Asano is willing to go to some dark places with this plot. As you dive deeper into the depths of these ruins, you uncover the game's massive mind-bending, overacting plots, the Doorway of Time. It is a massive, mysterious ancient portal artifact that connects the past and the present. To save the world from destruction, Elliot's journey completely transcends space and time, forcing him to travel across 4 distinct ages spanning thousands of years. Although in this footage I don't really show that because it's a demo, you know what I'm saying? It's like the first 2 hours, but I digress. This time travel mechanic opens up a massive environmental scope. As you can see through my sped up footage, we are moving seamlessly through all the classic beloved JRPG biomes. Lush grasslands, scorching desert, frozen snow areas, which I don't really show in this footage, and murky, dangerous swamp-like areas alongside massive, bustling cities. One detail I absolutely love about the city design is that you can actually walk inside almost every single building you pass. It gives off massive classic Pokemon and old school Zelda vibes, making the town feel deeply interactive instead of just being a flat backdrop. And thank goodness Team Asano included an instant fast travel system directly from the map screen, because navigating across all these different biomes and historical areas will be a massive, tedious chore without it, in my opinion. Now let's break down the actual fighting and gameplay mechanics, because ditching the traditional turn-based grids to keep things completely fresh is the best decision they could have made, and I'm being serious. The real-time action is simple, intuitive, and incredibly satisfying. You can actively block attacks with your shield and just absolutely spam your sword strikes. If you sneak up behind an enemy before they notice you or aggro, you can trigger a stealth critical for massive damage, which is the perfect tactical option for thinning out groups of monsters. The demo features a small but distinct variety of early enemies to square off against slugs, spiders, asteroid-like fire entities that don't look humanoid at all, and its annoying chicken men who carry either spears or arrows. The major encounter featured at the end of the ruins is a boss fight against a giant golem, and during my time in the demo, I fought 2 golems with different abilities, but it's due to a freaking giant golem. It is a fairly straightforward fight, but it's a highly satisfying, rewarding test of your mechanical timing, shield blocking, and sword spamming. You can also equip 2 weapons at any given time and freely switch between them in the middle of battle. While you start out with just a sword and shield, the full game is going to feature 7 different weapon types, including bows for ranged action and unique chains and sickles that let you physically reel enemies in toward your blade like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. You can also utilize bombs to detonate cracked walls to discover hidden secret treasure routes, which act as small optional dungeons you can explore for incredibly valuable rewards. Another massive gameplay update, in my opinion, for Square Enix puzzle games like this to HD 2D is that you can actually jump. Having a dedicated jump button completely changes the pacing of exploration and adds a great layer of vertical platforming for the ruins. The dungeons themselves use classical tropes done exceptionally well, refining keys to unlock doors, navigating multiple vertical floors using stairs, and solving straightforward puzzles. Just watch your step on the platforming segments. If you miss a jump and fall straight down in the pit, the game penalizes you by taking away exactly one of your life teardrops, so be careful. The cool thing is that you aren't exploring these deadly multi-level ruins entirely alone. You're accompanied by a fairy sidekick named Faye. She has her own automated fairy actions where she will actively strike enemies, help solve environmental puzzles, and fly off to fetch hard-to-reach items or pick up objects from afar. Trials get even crazier because Ellie has a dash and dedicated warp mechanic where he can instantly teleport straight to Faye's physical location to bypass giant obstacles and pits. And that's why you got the princess as well, but you know what I mean. And here's a massive feature that Square Enix kept relatively low-key but completely changes the game. It features a local 2-player co-op. A second player can plug in a controller, take full direct control of Faye, and actively use her combat skills to help you fight monsters and navigate the platforming sections in real time. You have a friend or a sibling to play with. This completely changes the dynamic of the dungeon crawling. If you're an old school gamer, you're going to absolutely love exploring this world because the classic habit of cutting down every single bush and blade of grass is fully rewarded here. They constantly drop essential gems and hearts to keep you alive. When you're backtracking though areas, the enemies take a little while to respawn, but the vases and jars respawn immediately the second you re-enter an area. If you ever need quick resources or currency, just keep breaking the vases over and over again, or the grass. The entire economy of the game runs on blue emerald-like gems called tools. Tools are the little lifeblood of your progression because they have a massive variety of uses. You use them as store currency to buy items, but you also need them for crafting and major gear upgrades. To stock up on tools and loot, you need to open every treasure chest you see. The game features different chest varieties, and the fat chests are the ones you want to hunt down because they always hold the absolute best high tier loot and mandatory key items. Doing side quests for NPCs in the city is also highly recommended. They give great money payouts and even reward you with entirely new weapons, like the bow, which completely alters your combat options. To upgrade your actual maximum health pool, you can look for optional challenges called Shrines of Life. By clearing these combat and traversal trials, you collect Shards of Life. Once you collect enough of them, you permanently add a brand new teardrop life icon to your screen. Just like the Zelda games, for saving your progress, you have to look for Adventure Guideposts. This allows you to save your game and it will completely heal your health and your life back to maximum. But there's a brain tactical twist here. The full heal at a guidepost is a one-time use only. You can never use a specific post to heal again, forcing you to be highly strategic about when you pull the trigger. For the biggest structural change in the game and the thing that makes it completely unique is that there is zero traditional leveling up. You do not grind mobs for XP to watch your character's stats go up. Instead, your entire progression loops relies completely on Magicites. Think of Magicite as customizable mod chips or power-up perks that you physically attach to your weapons to give them extra utility and stats, like a direct boost to your sword attack power, charge times, or critical hit rates. Rather than building a traditional character stat sheet, you're focusing entirely on tailoring weapon behavior and synergies. Here's exactly how the system works. First, you have a menu screen for your Magicite box, which has a strict total capacity weight limit of 20 to start. Every perk chip you want to equip has a specific cost weight. For example, a basic attack up chip might cost 5 capacity points, while critical rate up costs 6. You have to mix and match your chips to fit your personal playstyle while going over your total limit. If you save up 500 tools, you can actually upgrade the Magicite box itself from level 1 to level 2, which expands your capacity so you can fit stronger mythic combos. Second, you don't just completely find Magicite chips laying around. You harvest raw Magicite fragments from chests and especially from bosses, who draw a massive amount of it when defeated. You take these raw fragments to a fountain with a cute sleeping cat on it to form Magicites, which essentially lets you gamble and roll for a random weapon perk. Third, because the rolls are random, the game uses a system called form rank as your scaling luck stats. When you start crafting at rank 1, you have a massive 90% chance of rolling basic 1-star Yunk, and a tiny fraction of a percent at a mythic 5-star piece. But every single time you craft at the cat fountain, your form rank bar goes up. As your rank climbs, your luck scales permanently, making those ultra rare 4 and 5-star perks drop way more frequently. It is an incredibly fresh take on a JRPG progression because it completely eliminates mindlessly level grinding and forces you to actually explore the world to find fragments and upgrade your weapons. So what's my final verdict, you say? Well, I'm glad you asked. After clearing this massive demo chunk of a game at a $60 price tag, a game really needs to prove that it isn't just riding on coattails of 2D nostalgia. And while Adventure of Elliot definitely plays around with familiar fantasy tropes and that same old story with different font setup, the actual execution here is fantastic. The shift to real-time action combat feels incredibly smooth. The dual weapon switching and local co-op adds a ton of mechanical depth, and the Magicite progression system completely changes the traditional JRPG loop for the better. It respects your time with map fast travel, rewards your old school exploration habits, and runs flawlessly at a locked 60 frames per second on a PlayStation 5. If you decide to pre-order the game, you get the Elliot's Departure Pack, which comes with an accessory that boosts your tool and Magicite drop rates, alongside an early attack up chip to give you a great head start. There's also a digital deluxe edition and physical collector's edition dropping if you want to go all out. Based on everything I played in the opening chunk of the game, I think this is absolutely worth the day 1 price tag, and I'm giving the demo a rock solid 8.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this real-time action direction, or if you prefer Square Enix sticking to the traditional turn-based combat. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel for more walkthrough guides, reviews, and let's plays, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See y'all later.